All right, we are all out of the oven, and I just used my blade to pry up the baked MDF. So my clay is nice and firmly attached to it. That's not going anywhere. And you may see, remember we talked about those little fuzzy bits that stick off the edge because of the that brand of clay, right? So you can do two things here. You can kind of run your X-Acto blade along there and knock those off, which will get the bigger ones, and some may not come all the way off. You know, you can kind of cut that. Just be careful with your X-Acto. Always point it away from you so you don't hurt yourself. Right, and then you can also use my favorite tool for the finer cleanup, which would be an emery board or a sanding stick for, I use nail files, and just get in there and sand down whatever doesn't appeal to you until those little pieces are gone, right? So that is the base of what we're going to work with. I'm just going to set that aside. Now here are the beads I made. Aren't they beautiful? That clay is so pretty. And then when you just kind of roll up the powders and the extra bits and whatever in there, they come out so cool. So I'm going to put my beading pins off to the side. I now have 3 beads to use, and then I also have these crystals and things. So let's pry these up off the tile. Because here's the thing, I didn't make holes before I baked them, so now I need to drill some. And I'll show you how I do my holes. And I can get in here with these and also do the fine sanding, cut off the extra bits. That's really the only sort of problem with that particular clay, is that it really does have all the little extra bits and pieces, and that's just because of the amount of inclusions in the clay. I don't mind. I'll just spend a couple minutes cleaning it up. Okay. So then once you've done that, you're going to need to drill holes if you forgot to do them before baking, like I did. And this is how I do my holes. So I'm going to do it like this at the tops of everything. And I have a pencil drill. This has a push button on the back. I haven't been able to find the exact one. I did get it on Amazon, but you can get one that has like a USB charger on the back. So at least then you don't have to keep putting batteries in it. Let's just drill some holes. Okay, that's fairly easy to do with polymer clay. All right, let's finish by putting some twine and stuff on here and hanging this up. So this is called Nymo thread, and I have a whole bunch of colors because I really like using it. And I think I'm going to use this pretty aqua color for this project. It's basically a nylon thread, and it kind of looks like the silk that you would use for necklace making. I think it's kind of the synthetic version of that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a simple loop for the top of my project. And how we do that is you can just go ahead and tie, let me get this, it's all tangly. Pull the ends together of what we just cut off of there, tie a knot. Okay, and then we can put this right through here. So you put the loop through here. My fingers aren't working. And then put the knot through here, and it creates a little hanger. So there's our top. And then these, I had an idea, and I'm not gonna do it first. First I'm gonna string it up. But my idea is to take a silver marker. This is a 4 Artist marker by Pebeo, and do the edges of these. And I might even do the edge of the wood piece as well. But I didn't want to wait. This is going to take some time to dry, so I didn't want to have to do that on video and then make you wait. So I am going to do jump rings, I think, for these. So let me get some jump rings. I'm just going to borrow from my jewelry drawer and put some rings through these pieces. I think that'll make them look a little more finished than if I just hang them from a string. So I'm just gonna throw some jump rings at the top of each piece. Remember to always open your rings sideways by twisting them open. Don't ever open a ring and distort the circle, because then it's real hard to get it back into a circle again. It kind of damages the ring's ability to stay as a circle. These are pretty soft, pretty easy to do with my fingers. Okay, let's talk attachment. So what I've done here is I tied my Nymo onto the jump ring. I slid a bead on here, and now I decided that with this, I'm gonna make holes as well, because that's gonna be the easiest way to get this all to hang right. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 3 holes, one right in the middle. And that's what it's great about this stuff, because it's pretty easy to drill afterwards. And one of these fun drills is probably a good thing to have in your toolbox for using with clay. So 1 hole, 2 holes. Takes a second to bite into the MDF. But once it's through, we're good. And 3 holes. Okay. So now, this, I'm going to take a look at how it's hanging. So it hangs kind of like this, because then you can see where's the front. How does it want to hang? So that you can put your thing through here and face it kind of front ways. So if I just thread this through that hole I made, now I can decide how long I want this to be. Because all I have to do to hang this now is make a knot in the back and cut it off. So I'm just going to make a knot. Maybe just for funsies, make it like a double knot. So it's nice and thick. And then we'll just cut it off right after the knot. And pull it tight. And that's going to be able to dangle right from there perfectly. All right, so let's do the other 2. All right, so here we are with the second knot. I know I'm a little far away. And if you want to be, careful about the integrity of these knots that you're tying, you can always take a little dab of glue, like an E6000. That's what I have right here. Right, and just get it on that knot. And then we're going to cut off the extra thread right above the knot and pull it against the back here. So now we have 2 of our 3 hangers done. And let's do one more together. So I'm going to take about maybe 8 inches or so of the Nymo, tie a knot onto my jump ring, and I'm doing a double knot so that I have 1, 2, nice and tight. Again, you can come back and put a little glue on those if you want. If you have some Gorilla Glue, which would be my preference, I just don't know where my Gorilla Glue is at the moment. And then we're going to slide this bead on here. And the bead's going to do another thing. It's going to help to weight these very lightweight polymer pieces so that they do dangle. And we'll put this one through this 3rd hole and tie the knot. So with this one, you've got to decide where you want it to be. I made the other crystal kind of short. I think I want this one to be even shorter, kind of like, I don't want everything at the same height. I don't like things to be like that. So there we go, right about there. Here's another trick for you. If you want to tie a knot in a specific place, you can use a pin. So what I mean by that is you would tie the knot, which I'm going to go twice through this knot with my string this time to create a sort of double knot. And I'm going to put my pin through the knot where I want the knot to tie, and tie the knot against the string like that. This is how they do pearl necklaces, and put the knots between the pearls. So that tells the string where you want the knot to be, and then you just pull out the pin when you're done. So here we go. I'll show you what this looks like. Against the wall and in the window. Okay, let's create the slide for the bracelet. So we're going to pop this off of the can. And I did make this a little bit more thick so that it would withstand, you know, the pressure of being worn. And we do have mica on here, so I am going to seal it. Now, first, before sealing, we do need to make the slide. So this is going to sit on the wrist like so. Really nice, right? And then we're going to need to make sliders to hold onto this piece of cork that's going to go on here. So what we need here is a piece of clay that's going to be attached to the back of this and allow this to slide under it. So I have taken the same color and rolled it out to a number 2 on my pasta machine. This piece doesn't have to be really, really thick. But what it does need to be is big enough that this is going to be able to go through it. And also, now this can be baked, so I'm just thinking my way through this. Okay, so we need to have some to press down on here, and it also needs to go over this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut outside of it. And of course, it goes this direction. And we don't need a lot. Okay, so about this much should be good. I'm going to put this here. Going straight through the bead, and then this is going to go over it. Now you can either fix it on there permanently which is totally cool. You could use liquid clay or glue and just go ahead and stick this right on here. Or you can make it slide. You could also do it like this, just giving you options. You could do 2 pieces. So for example, you could go on this outer edge, press it down here and here. And then on this edge as well. Just press it against the already baked clay on both sides. And this will create the slide. And then if I want to, I can even pull this out. And then I can pretty up these edges where they're touched down so that they're more blending right into the clay underneath. And then this just needs to get rebaked. So there'll be a channel here for me to go ahead and put the cork back through. Now, if you're concerned that the channel might close, we can use a piece of paper. So for example, I have an index card here. And this is always a fun thing to try, is just making paper templates for things. So we'll do 2 of them because I don't want pressure on, I don't want pressure of the bend on the paper to actually cause these to pop off while they're baking. So I'm just going to slide this paper in here. And another piece over here. And that will just hold this channel up and keep it from collapsing on itself during the baking process. Okay, so this needs a rebake for the full time and temperature, and then we will have a bracelet. All right, we are out of the oven, so we're just going to remove these little paper placeholders here and slide the cork through the back of the bracelet. That's going to be really nice. Now you can make more sliders for it if you want to. That is totally up to you. I'm just going to show you how to assemble this. These have these little claw things and they just fit over the edge, and you'll just need a pair of pliers to squeeze them. And I like to get them all the way down in my plier like this and give the whole thing a nice squeeze. And you'll need to do it on both sides. But it has little teeth in there, so it's definitely going to hold on to the cork. This also works with leather. So you'll just put one on each side. And then you're almost done. This is the end there, and we're going to need 2 jump rings to hold this on. So I've got my rings. Let's see, these are a little thicker, so I'll use my thicker rings. You just need one for one side to hold. Okay, it's interesting how they attach that. So this, I'm going to go ahead and take this ring off of this. This isn't the way this is supposed to work. So if this comes to you like this, it's kind of because they put it all together. But basically this goes on one side and you'll just close it inside of a ring. Right? So that's your end that you attach to, and then this goes on the other. And then you have a bracelet. And of course, before you attach your ends, you'll want to measure it. Make sure that if you're going to wear it yourself, that it's the right length for you, so that if you need to, you can cut off some of the extra. And then, of course, if this part of it is too long for you, you can always take out some links. Just cut them off with a wire snipper. So there it is. There's our slide bracelet. And the sliders on the back are so easy to make. I mean, you can make multiple ones and make a bracelet that's full of sliders if you want to.